Are your kitchen cabinets bursting at the seams like a wild animal trying to break free? Well, if so, it's time to tame those kitchen cabinets and show them who's boss. I'll show you how. Come along with me and let's organize your kitchen cabinets. Okay, step number one to organize your kitchen cabinets is to take everything out. Kitchen cabinets are awesome at containing things, and they contain a lot of stuff, and it holds a lot of stuff. These upper cabinets are about 12 inches deep, and the lower cabinets can be 24 inches deep, which means there is a lot of space to contain a lot of items. So let's take everything out. Okay, here's a kitchen cabinet where the vertical storage space has definitely not been optimized. Okay, step number two is to sort and categorize. As you start pulling items out of that cabinet, start making piles into what you know you love and what you're going to keep because you use it all the time, and then things that you maybe don't love and don't need to keep and have never used at all. And so those are going to be your two extremes. You're going to probably have a lot of items that fall somewhere in the middle. So think to yourself, do you think you'll use this? Does this match the person who you are now? Was it a gift that you probably will never ever use? As you make those decisions, figure out what you're going to keep, what you can actually maybe have space to hold on to, and what you probably should give away. So have fun. Start sorting and categorizing. Okay, step number three is to clean and measure your cabinets. Get a damp cloth, wipe it all down, get in those back corners, get it all sparkly and shiny to be organized again. The second part of step three is to measure your cabinets. Get a tape measure, measure the width, the depth, and the height. Now, a few things to keep in mind. Usually the width will be impacted by a couple of hinges on either side of that cabinet. So make sure that you're also measuring how much those hinges will come into the cabinet, because that can affect how many organizers you might be able to put in there. As far as the depth of the cabinet, oftentimes the bottom shelf of a cabinet might be 11 or 12 inches, where the upper shelves might be 10 inches. So make note of that too, because that will be a big difference in what kind of organizer you can get for upper shelves versus lower shelves. I just got this fancy brand new tape measure called the E-Tape 16. I love it because there is a digital display on top and there's no second guessing what you're measuring. You can use it like a traditional tape measure like that, but what I like about this is when you're measuring inside a cabinet, you have a hard time figuring out what that is, this curling around of a tape measure. So what this does is it actually uses the body of the tape measure itself to get you your total measurement, using the latch and the hinge as our stopping point. And now our measurement is only 21 and basically a quarter inch wide. So we should not be buying anything that's going to be more than 21 and a quarter inches, which means like if we found 3 7-inch bins, they'd fit beautifully here. Now, when we get to measuring depth, you have to keep in mind a couple of things. First of all, the depth on the lower shelf is always going to be a little bit more than the higher shelves. This one is 11 and a half inches, whereas the upper shelf is 10 3/4 inches. It will mean that you need to be careful about what you're buying for this shelf. Sometimes 3-tiered shelves might come out a little bit farther than 11 inches, and you want to make sure that front end is going to be hitting the edge of the shelf, not falling off of it, for safety purposes and also for aesthetics. And finally, we want to get the height. This is great because we know we can move these shelves around. There's pegs on each side. We have 13 and a half inches here to go with, but just one shelf right here in the middle. I could get one made from the hardware store, which is a super easy fix, or I could buy one of them. So if I'm going to be moving things around in my cabinets going forward, I have a real functional shelf that can be just inserted right there and help organize the shelf and help us maximize our vertical space. Okay, step 4 is where it gets really fun. This is when you get to choose the best organizing solution to keep your cabinet organized. As you started pulling things out and sorting and categorizing, hopefully you've been able to think about what's going to be the best way to keep things organized when it goes back in. Is it a bend to help contain things? Is it a shelf riser that can create a couple of levels within a shelf itself? Is it a tiered shelf that creates little steps that you can see, like maybe for spices or cans? Or is it a turntable that can spin around for those bottles that may be on a high shelf or in a corner cabinet? Regardless of the solution, there has got to be something that's going to help you keep this cabinet organized so you can have a fabulous organized kitchen going forward. One of our primary goals when we're organizing a kitchen cabinet is to maximize vertical storage. And the best way to do that is to add shelves. Now, if you have a handyman and you can go in there and add some shelves to your cabinets, fantastic. But oftentimes that's not a possibility, and there are some great off-the-shelf solutions where you can do this yourself. I love doing with these individual shelf risers, cabinets, stackable shelves that you can put in there. If I'm going to be using drawer organizers that are bamboo throughout a kitchen, I love being able to use the same type of riser or shelf for the cabinets. This is from the Container Store. It's a bamboo stackable shelf. It comes in 3 sizes. I love it. It's great construction, beautiful wood. These things are super easy to use. You just pop them open and voila, you have an additional shelf. This can be for your coffee cups and saucers, maybe some small bowls underneath. This can be more for salad plates and plates, and this might be for larger platters or pots and pans in the lower cabinet. Anyway, this is a wonderful way to maximize the vertical storage in your cabinet. When I'm organizing a modern white kitchen, I might have already used the white drawer organizers in all the drawers to organize cutlery and utensils. I will usually try to stay in that vibe with these white shelf risers. I love that they come in all these different sizes. These are from the Container Store, but you can buy these everywhere. They've been around. These predate organizing times that we're in now, but they're perfect. They do what they got to do. They create that additional shelf. Here's the small one for small bowls, a medium-sized one for larger plates, and there's this expanding one, which I'm really excited about, that I'm planning to use in my own cabinet when I do some reorganizing, that expands across the shelf. So again, great functional pieces to maximize that vertical storage in your cabinet. Okay, a third option for creating that shelf in your cabinets are these chrome shelves from the Container Store. These came out a couple of years ago. Love them because they are super solid. I love how they don't sag in the middle. Some of the other shelves do have the tendency to do that, so these will not do that for you at all. They come in different sizes. You got your dinner plate shelf here. You got a larger shelf here, which could maybe hold bowls and salad plates with dinner plates below. And then they came up with this wonderful corner shelf, which I haven't used yet, but I think it's cool that it can fit right there in the corner and give you those 2 levels of shelf space that you need for your items in a corner cabinet. I love these so much that I'm considering putting these in my kitchen. I currently am using the white ones because I've had them forever, but we do have a lot of chrome accents in our kitchen, and this could look really cool, and I like that they're so sturdy. So thank you, Container Store, for coming up with a really great solution to a problem that we all have and creating us some additional levels within our cabinets. Upper cabinets, if you need to create multiple levels for smaller items like spice jars or honey jars, the tiered shelf is a great solution for that. And again, it comes in a myriad of options. We have the stainless steel, which is gorgeous and sleek and awesome for those kitchens that have all the stainless steel going on. The white is perfect if you're using all those white drawer organizers, and again, these things expand to fit the size of the cabinet. And then recently the Home Edit came out with its acrylic version, which I absolutely love. It's been long needed to have one that's beautiful and clean like this that can match all the great organizers you have throughout the kitchen. Love that. Again, it's expandable, and iDesign makes a smaller one that's great for smaller cabinets. Maybe you only have to put a couple of things in there, but by creating levels, you're able to see it's farther back in the shelf and things don't get lost. So a perfect solution to help maximize the vertical storage in your cabinets. Okay, one of my other favorite things to use to organize a cabinet is a turntable. They're awesome because what might be at the very back of that cabinet might be too hard to reach, and you put it on a turntable and all of a sudden it's accessible to you. I was having that problem years ago with my spice cabinet. Things were falling over as I was trying to reach that spice in the back. I put in a turntable and the solution was solved. So here is a great single one for maybe jars and things, and you have a double one which can be for maybe a whole level of spices. I didn't put it together yet, but this gives you the idea. Again, if I'm going to be organizing a kitchen all in the bamboo vibe with the drawer organizers, maybe drawer dividers, maybe the shelf risers that I showed, I will then stay with that same feel and go for the bamboo turntable. Another option for turntables is the stainless steel turntable. This is actually the one I use in my own kitchen with my spices. It's a double tiered. Love that because it gives me the double levels and maximizes my vertical storage. I can contain a lot of spices on it. But a single level is great if you might have taller jars and you just want to be able to corral things and keep them accessible in a cabinet. So this is, again, the stainless steel. If I'm going to go with a stainless steel tiered shelf, maybe there's a lot of stainless steel going on in the kitchen, this is a beautiful solution for the turntable. that kitchen's white, light, and bright, and you're already using white plastic drawer organizers and maybe some white tiered shelves, then go with the white turntable to keep everything consistent. Here's two different sizes. You have a small one here. I actually use this one in my own refrigerator, and you have a larger one, which I really like for the high side, so that if you're going to be corralling oils or vinegars or you name it, sauces, it's a really great way to keep things from falling over in a cabinet. Maybe you have clear acrylic drawer organizers for your utensils. Maybe you're using those clear dividers to corral your cooking utensils, and you have even that awesome 3-tiered shelf that Home Edit makes that's clear and acrylic. Well, stay with that vibe and use the clear acrylic turntables. I love these turntables. They're perfect for like putting in a cabinet right by the stove to corral like maybe your olive oil and vinegars. They have the 2-tiered version, which is great for all those spices that you might want to have. And they also come up with a couple of other things that you could choose. iDesign makes a 9-inch turntable, which has high sides, which is great. It keeps things from falling out as you're spinning it around. Here's one that's a divided one, which even does a better job at holding things from spinning. And then the Home Edit also comes out with a really large one, 11.5 inches in diameter. But it's great because these dividers will come out. This little insert actually comes out, and it just keeps everything in its place and keeps you organized and helps your kitchen be much more efficient. Okay, and now it's time for the final product on our product display showcase. This is one of my favorite solutions for organizing water bottles in a cabinet. Water bottles are notorious for multiplying in kitchens, proliferating, and just rolling and falling all over the place, especially when you're trying to organize them in a cabinet or in a drawer. So this is a product that was designed by iDesign. I love it because it is perfect. They stack, they sell them in widths of however wide your cabinet is, and a 2 width, 3 width, 4 width, 5 width. I think it might even come larger. But what's wonderful about them is that you can stack them, and maybe you might not have room for a third one, but you can still do a third row of water bottles across the top, like little cheerleaders being lined up to do their pyramid. And I tell you, they're doing their rah-rah, and so are you, because this is the game changer for organizing water bottles in a kitchen cabinet. And the easiest way to organize glassware is by adding another shelf. Now, I could go to a hardware store and have one of these cut to size and put it right here and call it a day. But I can also go to an organizing store or Amazon and find a shelf riser, just like this. That is super easy to put in, and it makes your cabinet immediately more useful and efficient and organized. Because I have these white shelf risers throughout my kitchen, I went ahead and stayed consistent to be consistent and used the same one. So we now have our organizing solution. We've chosen the aesthetic, and we are now ready to organize. Okay, you're at step 5. Congratulations, you've made it. You have come this far. You have taken everything out. You've sorted and categorized. You've cleaned and measured. You've chosen your best organizing solution, and now you're at the best part where you get to put it all back in. Have fun with this part, be creative, and keep one principle in mind: your frequency of use. You want to make sure that the items that you're using every day are front and center and easy to access. Things that don't need to be accessed as often can go deeper into a cabinet or higher up on a shelf. And this is where the fun begins. So we have our shelf riser. I'm going to slide this to the far right, because right here, I'm going to keep in mind that principle, frequency of use. What's going to be used most often in this cabinet? It's going to be my wine glasses. So I'm going to put them right here, line them up. There used to be 4, now there's 3, and they fit perfectly here for that reason. And then I'll put the highballs up next to them. And then below the highballs, I will put the low balls. And now we are maximizing that vertical storage, and we have room to grow. I have some more low balls I can add here, some more high balls I can put over here. And so now we have an awesome bar cabinet right here next to our bar. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a little bit more about how to organize your kitchen cabinets. I shared tips, tricks, and best practices, and my favorite organizing solutions that will help you keep your cabinets organized going forward. If you like this video, I would love it if you can give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and click on that bell icon so you can be notified when I release my next organizing video. In the meantime, from my home to yours, this is Cary Prince wishing you a happy, organized day.